Good morning everyone, welcome back to Aussie Starcraft as we cast matches from the Acer Team Story Cup. Today in the bottom left hand corner is our blue Terran TheStC, in the top right hand corner it is our red Protoss Millenium's Adel Scott, or Adel I think for short his tag is at the moment. Now you guys are very familiar with the TSC. We've spoken about him a bit and introduced him a bit in the previous couple of videos. Adel Scott's actually a French Protoss player, regarded as one of the better French players. Very solid player, relies on things like his macro to get him an advantage, not known for early timing attacks and that sort of thing, but instead he actually, you can see him asking here, it's cross spawn only on this map, Star Station, and TSC responding that he thinks it is. And one of the reasons for that is Adel Scott's actually known for his very late scouting. It's actually been derogatorily nicknamed the Adel Scout because of how late he tends to scout. And you can see the observer there indicating that it is in fact cross spawn only. So it will be a TVP matchup, and it's going to be a bit interesting. This map historically has actually favoured Terran players. Terran players obviously do very well on a map that has such a massive main base, and a ledge this large can be exploited by things like Reapers, can be exploited by medevacs, can be you can have a lot of fun with siege tanks as well. So quite a good map for Terran players. Historically, Protoss have suffered here. We'll see what Adel Scott elects to do against TSC in this matchup. So TSC, of course, we've seen him go mech a few times in a row now against other Terran players. I'd be surprised if he does the same thing against Adel in this round. The reason I say that is mech has a lot of answers to Zerg and Terran, but when it comes to Protoss seem to hard counter the mech build very consistently. Things like the Blink Stalkers will just get on top of your siege tanks and mess those up. Things like the Immortal just can chew through Thors and siege tanks like no other, like there's no tomorrow, and it just generally makes for quite a difficult matchup if you elect to go mech. So we'll see if TSC does that and how Adel responds. TSC this time actually moving out with a Reaper, going to get an early scout off, but we actually have Adel here going for some sort of proxy play, so perhaps he's been watching the earlier games, knows that TSC likes to go for this early expansion, and this sort of proxy Stargate Oracle build could actually inflict fairly critical damage on the TSC. So TSC is going to follow up with a barracks, and so we will indeed be seeing some bio play out of the TSC. But this could, in fact, Adel's going to catch TSC with his pants down. He's got one reactor going down, but these first two Marines are going to be all that's in play against this first Oracle. Potentially 2 or 4 Marines, but certainly not enough to counter Oracles and any other harass that Adel can put out. So still haven't seen Warp Gate begin, so interested to see what the follow-up, but we do have this Oracle being chrono boosted out. There's going to be no anti-air defense except, actually this bunker going up is going to be in place, so nice decision there from TSC. He did actually spot the Stargate with his Reaper, so this will allow him to get this in play to defend his high ground base, but his expansion could be useless for the next couple of minutes. So this Oracle, nice control out of the TSC there, able to force the Oracle right out of play. Looks like Adel Scott might suffer here. Is one Oracle unfortunately unable to do a whole lot. Will the second Oracle get out? Chrono boosting out to try and get it out before the pylon drops. So 2 Oracles now are in play. That's going to give him the potential to harass the TSC, but 6 Marines is going to get quite annoying. He's able to focus down these Oracles quite quick, but nice control out of Adel Scott, able to pick off a few Marines and a few workers there. So worker killed there, but this Stargate unfortunately now being picked off. Adel Scott throwing down an expansion of his own. He is doing a good job of stopping TSC from mining at this expansion. Nice control out with the Stalker here, able to harass the Marines on the low ground. This is going to force TSC back into his main base. So while while Adel hasn't been able to do a whole lot of damage with these two oracles, it is having the desired effect of stopping STC's macro. He's unable to mine from his second base, and is going to contain him quite nicely with this single Stalker and two Oracles. So a bit of neat play out of Adel, and looks like Adel's going to follow it up with some very heavy Warp Gate play. Warp Gate actually not actually being researched at the moment. Sentry here trying to tickle down this poor SCV, but unfortunately the Sentry is going to be the world's slowest scout killer. Is going to continue chasing him around the back. Sentry though would have been able to spot all those gateways going down, so STC does know that there is a heavy gateway follow-up to this. STC now throwing down his moving his expansion back to the low ground. His Oracle's still in play and still a threat though. Going to try and find their way into the mineral line, but there's a lot of Marines here waiting for them, so unlikely it will be seeing them do a whole lot for the current time. STC decides time to clean up this Stargate. We have a probe trying to go toe-to-toe with a Marine. That's never going to go the probe's way. A minigun versus a little zapping harvester tool, just not a very fair matchup. Equivalent, I guess, the Starcraft equivalent of bringing a spoon to a knife fight, or bringing a knife to a gunfight, as the saying goes. STC starting to get quite a lot of units out now, but Adelscott's still able to do a bit more damage with these Oracles, up to 14 kills now, which is certainly very respectable. STC's finally decided to throw down a missile turret to try and inhibit this irritating Oracle aggression. And a lot of players sort of get carried away with the Oracles. They'll 1A and just throw them away quite quickly. Like, they'll get a few worker kills, and then when the Marines show up, they sort of abandon the control. The Oracles die, and that's that. Adel just leaving these behind STC's base forces STC to keep some units at home. The units are going to stim and pick off one of the Oracles, but there are now some medevacs to heal them. So, nice force from Adel moving out here, but STC is going to stim with these units. A big stim to force this early on. The medevacs aren't with this army, and they're going to be unable to heal. So, nice big pick off there for Adel. If we check out the units lost tab, it is dead even at the moment, 1418 to 1425. This Bioforce actually going to get pincered between these two gateway units, so nice concave going to be forming here from Adel. STC, nice micro, allows him to pick off a extra Stalker there, but that's a big pick off for Adel. He's going to establish his pylon here and be able to put on quite a lot of pressure. So 5 gate pressure, no robo or anything to follow this up. There's pure gateway aggression, which is normally not recommended. STC going to be throwing down some extra bunkers here, but Adel's just going to power in some force fields are going to prevent these bunkers from being repaired. Picking off these medevacs would be a nice pickup. Medevac is in range, but Adel instead trying to focus down some of the ground units. Bunker goes down as well, which is another nice pickup. There's just not enough units here for the STC, so Adel may actually carry it here and knock out STC, who's just been so dominant. So Adel, nice actual timing attack here, able to harass with these Oracles, and these Zealots are just going to mince through these ground units. Nice force field's going to prevent these SCVs from being able to fall back, and it looks like STC there, wow, and GG, forced to tap out of the game. So great game out of Adel, able to knock out STC. So very almost speechless to see how well Adel was able to do that. So proxy Oracles into just a five gate timing, just very well executed. Was able to catch STC before he could tech up and get most of his upgrades and tech going. You see in the tech lab, combat shield still not finished up. Adel hit at a time when there weren't many medevacs on the field, so those early aggressive stims actually allowed Adel to pick off STC's force, and STC trying to do a counter attack up at the top left hand side of the map, but well, top right hand side, but left hand side of this expansion. But unfortunately for STC, it was too little too late. So well played for Adel, and I guess we'll be seeing him in the next game. Thanks guys, we'll catch you in the next cast.